Over the last 12 months, it's been really exciting because I've had one major exhibition and it was very well attended. Lots of people came. The opening, the preview was really quite stunning. In fact, it was a bit shoulder to shoulder, a bit uncomfortable in some respects. But because there were so many people there, it gave a lovely atmosphere. But of course, people bought work as well, which was quite what it was all about, really. But because of that, it sort of draws a line. All the work that you've done is now gone, and it then focuses your mind on the next thing. My paintings have changed partly because of that reassessment. What happened was I actually started going backwards, which sounds a bit sort of odd, but I did, because during the summer we'd gone off to Australia and had a window seat on the plane and began to realise once again the drama of the landscape underneath, and making a few really quick sketches, came back and really thought, yes, this is the way forward now, looking at these landscapes. But it gave me an opportunity to start again, but from a point that I'd already touched on at one point. Working from drawings, the drawings are really very important. They're the sort of foundation of everything that I do. It's not straight out of the head. We need a focal point. Sometimes it's a composite of a collection of images, but work with those and develop a painting from them. They're a kind of trigger. So, surrounded by lots and lots of drawings, making colour studies as well. It's important when I rush back sometimes, if it's possible, to just bang some colours down against a collection of drawings that will remind me of what I've seen. I work on canvas or even on paper, but I quite like paper, but it must be rigid paper, and I tend to use quite strong £300 paper. Because it's such a lovely fluid business, because I'm moving, because it's to do with movement, you need an old shirt, otherwise you end up painting yourself. And going home, getting into bother because I've got a nice shirt full of paint is an occupational hazard, so we're going to try and minimise that to some extent. Now, the painting that I want to do today is working from this series of drawings here, and these were really looking down onto a landscape. It was a sand and sea and land type of landscape, with some elements in there, and what I wanted to do was to work the plaster along here to divide the space up. There's a nice balance about that. I've already done the colour studies, and in fact this is the kind of thing that I sometimes would work on first of all, doing a whole range of colour studies, colours that work within the theme of what I'm on, and then probably even a very, very quick little miniature idea of what's going on without the plaster, of course. It's just a configuration of colours, but that's what we're going to head toward. Now, I'm going to work from these drawings. I need to divide the space up and work down. I want to work across. That's the area of configuration. That's the bit that interests me. And we've got that over there that takes us into that space but doesn't join up. That's the way. Now then, that's it. That ridge, that's the ridge, there's the rock. We're looking down on the rock and we're kind of recreating those ridges. I want to sweep it across this way, very thin, palette knife, flatten it against, and then hold it back so that you've got lots of plaster, and then back again. We're running around here, back down there, almost in a square, and I do want that, and I do want that. Now that needs to be left to dry. If I tell you, the most dramatic encounter would be flying away from Australia, flying north towards Papua New Guinea, going across that opal sea, and the sea and the land, and of course it's the outback, and the sand, and the colour of the sand is something that we don't have, but it was quite wonderful, and the graduation of colour over the sea. So all that had to be remembered. But then again, that's what I'm doing. I'm really representing what I've seen. I'm not doing a photo image of it. But it was that configuration of land and sea and the point at which the two part company. And that really gives me a kind of focal point in the painting. That's the bit that I'm after.